Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Can we get back above 94K Bitcoin? Let's see what happens here today. Shout out to everybody on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. We love you. We appreciate you. And we are going to bring you the most positive, educational, fun-filled, even some comedy. We're going to have an awesome stream today. Get ready. I love you. Let's go. Yes, yes, yes. We've been around the world, folks. With this technical analysis, Bitcoin has brought me around the world, and you can too. Shout out to my awesome people here. Let's go. I'm so motivated, baby. Let's go. Big wins already in 2026. And I make my statement by being consistent. I speak nil. I act more. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. I appreciate you all for sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the best show on earth, the Crypto Lifer Show, baby. Let's go. Nobody does it more consistency. Nobody does it with more energy. Nobody brings it like me and my team, baby. Shout out to everyone on the crew that brings the energy and supports me so I can move at the speed of light. My wife, Zeno, Sean, Lakochi, my new team I just brought on, my man, Zeph, we love you, bro. I'm feeling the energy right now. Shout out to my peoples. Shout out to everybody here. Let's break it down. Let's stop yapping and talk about BTC. Let me get this link over to the Discord so they know we are live, baby, because we don't take days off. Hello. I know traders that may be smarter than me, better than me, quicker than me, but you know what? They're not as consistent as me. I will chew them down like a tree stopper. And again, I'll chew myself down. It's about me and yesterday. But I'm just telling you, in any industry, there's people smarter than you, quicker than you, more connections than you. It doesn't matter. If they don't work as hard as you, you will win every single time, baby. Hands down. Consistency takes the cake and makes it happen. Shout out to my people, man. We don't stop. Shout out to everybody here. I'm staying motivated and I don't give a dang, baby. I just had a nice workout. I feel good. Jim Rohn got my mind straight and I'm ready to do this like I do it every single day. Am I in a trade right now? No. What did I miss? The little pump this morning on the 5-minute inverted head and shoulder. Nice little move to the upside there for Bitcoin. If you go to that 5-minute this morning, hey, this is looking at the daily. Let me go here, punch it back there. Yeah, there you go. There's the inverted head, shoulder, head, right shoulder, boom, to the upside. I did not chase. Something told me to chill. And I'm going to tell you what my next plan is. I'm out of trades right now. I'm going to tell you what my next plan is for BTC. I'm looking for this to actually bounce here, get nice and tight, hopefully make a nice little bull pennant, and get a nice little pump here to the upside. This is a foreshadowing of what I'm going to show you later on, but this could play out. That might be an entry right there. But anyway, we're going to break it down for you from the top down and show you what I see happening. Shout out to everybody here. Shout out to everyone jumping on in. I'm watching BB bounce bit. It just broke through this resistance. I want to see it retest. But maybe it doesn't. It keeps ripping. Again, tight moving averages. The 21 above the 200 on the 1 hour. It did it here off the 21. It did it here off the 21. I'm looking to see if 3 times the charm here. And you can see this thing just higher lows. I don't know. You know what I mean? This thing is just on a little bit of a mini tear here to the upside. And it seems to be following that parabola, right? So anyway, and I don't own any. I don't nothing. I don't even know what the heck it is. I'm just showing you so you understand how things break out. They get tight on the moving averages. Like right here, the same thing happened here. Bitcoin got very, very tight. Remember, we drew this for you. We said it's going to go either way. Bitcoin got very tight. It broke out. Touching the 21, boom. Touching the 21, boom. Touching the 21, boom. Do you see a pattern here? When price action hits the 21-day moving average, bang, bang, bang. When price action gets away from the 21, back to the 21, back to the 21, back to the 21. You see how I'm using the 21 to enter and to exit. Scalping. I'm in here. I'm out there. I'm in here. I'm out there. I'm in here. I'm out there. Yesterday, I sold that right there in front of everyone in the morning. I don't know if you remember. I nailed that trade yesterday. I sold a local top, and I watched it give it all back. That was not yesterday. Sorry, that wasn't yesterday. It was December 28th. But that looks, let me go back in time because now I sound like a ridiculous person. But yesterday, the 1 minute looked just like this is all I'm trying to say. It broke away from the 21. So like, and again, we sold this top because we were what? Away from the 21-day moving average. Anytime you're going to gap away from that 21, you have to know that it's not a good look. Okay? Same thing on a short. You're shorting. You're down, down, down. Your short gets really far away from the 21. It's a good sell. You're likely going to come back to the 21. This is hard for people to swallow because price action's elastic. And they want it to go one way all the time, and it doesn't. It kind of goes back and forth until it eventually breaches key areas. It's a constant battle all the time. Oh my gosh, that's good. That coconut water, man. And if you want to trade where we trade, trading's been going absolutely great. I've been having fun. I give you guys the sauce. Shout out to Sean Plays. Look, there's Sean. Sean Plays, baby. Just had to shout you out, Sean. See, you didn't think you were going to get some screen time, Sean, did you? But everyone, there he is again, folks. There he is again, in case you weren't sure. All right? In case you weren't sure. That is Sean. That's my buddy. That's my personal assistant, my number one, my guy, man. Shout out to everybody here on the live. All right, so Bitcoin. What do I see happening? Well, right now, it's doing some damage. Showing like I just want to see the 4 hour make a flag. That's what I'm telling you. And, you know, it might just rip on its own, but I'd like to see the 21 come hang out and then get a breakout. Beautiful move we've had. Look, once you cross the 200 moving average, you want to open up a trade. Guan. Yeah, you could have opened this lost, opened up in this one and lost, but the third one would have paid for those losses. So I just keep doing the same. I learned that if I was consistent with this strategy, I would win. But when I dabbled with it, it doesn't work. So you can't dabble in trading. You have to be all in. The problem is when you're not, if you have emotions and you can't be all in. It's like really hard to be all in when your emotions are pulling you. You see what I'm saying? So very tough racket because you got to get rid of your emotions to stay consistent. And that really takes years depending on the person. Depending on how strong, the trauma in your life will come into trading. So like if you've been beaten as a kid, abused, someone told you suck a lot, you know, you've been put down by a parent or a family member, an older brother or sister was mean to you. These things can affect you because they revert back to your subconscious mind when you're getting hit by a trade, when you're losing trades, and then you speak negative to yourself. You say you do suck, you are the worst, and you get into your head. So we got to get the subconscious mind healed. For most people, the only reason you're losing, you understand support and resistance. You know the 21. Like, you watch my stream for 2 years. Anyone who has a normal IQ, I think, of 80 and above, which is like, you know, and you watch my stream for more than 2 years, even like somewhat consistently, I believe you're going to know how to trade at that point. But you may still lose, and you're like, why? Well, because there's subconscious healing that needs to be done. You don't believe you deserve to win. So you sabotage trades all the time. Put yourself back in the trauma that you've been in because your mind only knows trauma. See, we don't realize that all feelings are addictive drugs. Negative feelings is an addictive drug. So when we replay negative theories in our mind, we get addicted to that. And then we actually keep doing it. It's crazy. Even though we don't know we're doing it, our subconscious mind is stuck in a loop. I was in this loop for years. It didn't look like I was going to get out. That's why in a few quick years, my whole life shifted. I went from a guy on a night shift that was going to make, 80 to 100 grand a year. It wasn't the worst. I wasn't like, completely unproductive. I was doing my thing, but I wasn't going to make, I want to make 100 grand a week. I want to make $1 million a month. I want to change my life, I want to be able to buy multi-million-dollar homes 2 in a year. I don't want to have to wait 30 years for one mortgage. You know what I mean? I desire the greatest things in life. But I desire the greatest things in life. I desire not to be held back by anything. Not by finances, not by anybody. I want to push all the way. Nothing should hold us back, right? Anyway, let's go back into brass tacks. But we're watching that 4 hour. If that thing can flag out, we have ourselves a big shot. So there's a couple ideas here. One, to trade the weekly completely. Still time to get in on the weekly with a stop here and just let that puppy go. And see if you can get into, I would probably sell into liquidity. Someone that would go to an all-time high, has some guts, but just to a liquidity. So I believe this is still a viable trade. Even right there, 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio with a stop below that wick. I still believe this is a viable trade. You are chasing. It's not the greatest entry. I already provided wonderful entries for the last 4 or 5 days, even then towards the end of the year. So, there you have it, right? So I still think this is a viable entry. Stop loss and everything. The stop says 84. And again, I'm just showing you my idea. You got to fit this into your own educational style. Decide if it's something that you want to do. Never do anything you see somebody do on YouTube. Never do someone else's trading style. You got to learn this stuff yourself. You can learn from what I do every day. You can get the education from what I'm doing. This is a reality TV show of my life. Every day I display my life. The tools and tricks that I use these different exchanges. I have fun. This is my life and cryptocurrency. So yeah, I'm the crypto lifer, man. I dedicated myself to crypto years ago, and here I am. That's not much more I can say. And I showed up every single day for years without a day off. It's really simple. I'm not a genius. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I may not even be the most qualified. You know what I mean? Not everything I say happens. I'm not 100% in my trades. If I was, I'd be a liar. But I truly give you everything I can every single day to the best of my abilities without days off. And I push myself to the hardest of my abilities. And I believe that together we win. And I love my strategies, and I love what I've learned, and I love sharing it. So I'm doing what I love to do, which is teach. I found I'm an innate teacher, and I really appreciate everyone for giving me the space to teach. So the first thing I want to see is the first thing I'm showing you is a monthly trade. And, again, you could hold this for 4 or 5 months before payday. It may take its time. That's a very patient trade. Might be April when you take the payday. It may stop you out. Who knows what could happen? But that's an idea right there. Same thing here on the 2-week chart. Again, I like to buy the wicks. I like to buy the bounces. But this is still, an interesting idea here. What I could see likely happen, though, is this is a shoulder. This is the head. We make a right shoulder. We complete some type of ascending triangle here. And we don't break out till June. We start breaking out somewhere in June. Yes, Bitcoin gets back into the 115, 120 area, but it has to come back down to test 102, 100 again. People start saying it's a dead cat bounce. They get more people to short. See, this is what an inverted head and shoulder is. See, what people that don't trade patterns realize they're getting roped into the pattern. If they knew the pattern, they would, you never short an inverted head and shoulder because that has a 68% chance of breaking out. So you're going so far against the grain, right? My team is awesome and on point. Sean's so on point. My team is the best team in the game. Nobody has a better team. So shoulder, hand, right shoulder, right? So this is what I see happening if we are bullish. I don't see a massive move up out of nowhere. And the cool thing is this will look like a double top. So a couple candles will open here and we'll get a bunch of people to open shorts up. And then we're going to get the stop losses at 130, because think about it. How does price, a frog is out here in the pond, all right? I don't know if I can even draw a frog. Here's his leg. Here's his belly and his head. Whatever. There's a frog. He's this little dot. He's on a pond. Now let's say he doesn't want to get wet. It's a game, right? He has to go from lily pad to lily pad to get to the next level, right? To go to where he has to go. So trading is the same way. It has to go from support and resistance, lily pad to lily pad, like this one from this support here, up to this resistance, bounced off the support, back up to an all-time high, back down to this support. Where these two candles closed, we bounced. It's and it does the same thing when it comes to patterns. Bitcoin can't just go straight up. Maybe it does. I mean, you never know. But the odds are unlikely. One other idea you could say was, it breaks back inside the rising wedge. This was just a giant bear trap. Once we're in here, we can break out of the rising wedge parabolically again. I've seen these scenarios. I've seen this happen. I've seen them break a rising wedge, break back inside, and then a little coil on the right, and then we rip up. Still $189,000 Bitcoin by May or June. So that's your best case scenario is that you hit 186K by May or June. I give that a 25 to 30% scenario. I think the odds of that are low. I think it's far more likely you make this, inverted head and shoulder, and you don't start breaking out to the end of May or into June. Okay? Now, it does have an aggressive leg. I would say this is the leg. That would be the Elliott wave. That's 185 by December 7th. 185,000 by December, by the end of the year. And we close the green. We close the year green. All coins have an okay year. They're not, I don't know if they're going to rip again. But what I'm telling you, it looks like we're going to have an amazing year of trading BTC like I do. So you have to understand, I don't trade I know altcoins make money. My brain is high efficient V12, right? And in fact, here he goes. But I'm saying I've been using my brain for a long time in trading. So my brain casts a web on the market and it looks at all the assets. Solana, altcoins that people trade, Bonk, SHIB, and BTC. And then it does the math and it says mathematically, you're going to have a better year trading if you trade Bitcoin. It says, yeah, there's more opportunity here, but there's high risk. Heavy liquidations and very, very, you're taking way more risk than people realize. Even trading Sol, which is a big coin. And if you trade alts, you're going to get sucked into trading alts. And one time, you're probably going to hit on an alt that you probably shouldn't be trading. But if you just don't trade alts at all and you just trade Bitcoin, you can make Bitcoin as leveraged as Solana. Just add more leverage and get a little... You could trade Bitcoin just like an altcoin if you want. Just add more leverage, make it high risk. You could pull back the leverage and trade, you know what I mean? Bitcoin gives me the control. See, on altcoins, I'm already high leverage. There's nothing I can do. Like, it's just like I have to use 3x and I'm already in a tightrope. Bitcoin, I can control how risky I want to be. I can be as risky as I want with the volatility. I can pull it back, and I have such a span. I have such a more skilled way of trading. You see, I have more options. It's like having an army with far more troops. So that's why I generally don't trade altcoins with leverage, because my mind mathematically doesn't see the reasoning. You see? Yes, but everyone's like, yeah, but you make so much more money. Yes, but there's so much more risk involved over time. I'm about minimizing risk. I'm like a hedge fund at this point. I just want to add 7 to 10% a year. And if I do that, I'll become a multi-millionaire in my life. You know what I mean? I'll be set for life. So, and again, I'm going to make other products. I'm going to create other businesses. I am a serial entrepreneur. I know for a fact I'm going to do other things with my life when it comes to business. So, whatever. My whole point is, these are the days of our lives. This is the time, man. Look at Bitcoin. 94,100 strong. So I'm showing you the bigger time frame trades because right now it's chasing on the small time frames. There could be some drawdown. You could be kind of running it, you know what I mean? But if you just have an outlook to say, okay, I'm trading that monthly. I'm putting my stop loss down here. I'm going up here. And I'm going to hold it until the cows come home. And you have conviction. To me, I believe that's the best way to play BTC, Morgan Stanley plans to launch Bitcoin and Solana ETFs per the Wall Street Journal. Big news. Institutions buying the Bitcoin pump. The Coinbase premium gap has turned positive, which means Bitcoin is trading at a higher price on Coinbase than on Binance. Coinbase is typically used by U.S. institutions, hedge funds, and high net worth individuals using CoinS Prime and Pro. A positive gap confirms the rally is being driven by spot buying demand from American institutions. They know more money's coming into the market. Check this out. You're running a hedge fund. You're running a regular fund. You're running an institution. You're doing your thing. You've been stacking reserves for 2025 because that's what you do in case. You're sitting on a couple $100 million. It's the beginning of 2026. You know that the rate cuts are coming. You know they're getting rid of Chair Powell. You know that there's going to be a change in the finances, and you can see the dollar losing value. You probably would start front running into risk on assets because you dang well know everyone else will too. So if there's, let's say, 500 real honed in companies that are willing to seriously red tape cleared, ready to get into BTC, you best be one of the top 50 because you're going to be paying more if you in the bottom 150 for Bitcoin. Let's be real. So don't you think it's a good time right now to accumulate BTC before money gets cheaper and cheaper, before loans get handed out? I believe so. So if you had any reserves, I think it would be smart to allocate. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I worked for your company and you were a Fortune 500 or anything else, I would be sitting at the board meeting right now telling you to allocate into BTC heavily, into these key areas of fear and greed. The fear and greed was at 10 and 11. I told you guys that was an experience of a lifetime. I've only seen it there I think 3 or 4 times in my life. So that was like seeing a spotted owl. You know what I mean? But it's funny, You ever hear that joke? A guy got caught killing and eating an African gray parrot. It was horrible, right? You can't do that. Like, they're endangered. You can't do that, right? And so he got caught, and everyone was like, well, now that you've been sentenced and it's over. And they said, well, can we at least ask, what did it taste like? He said, a little like a spotted owl. Not a good joke, man. Not a good joke. I love spotted owls, by the way. They're the cutest animals in the world. Like, anyway, so people buying up BTC, and I told you we front ran them on this show when we were seeing the fear and greed at 10 and 11, and I gave you years of data to tell you. And then remember, I bought 10 grand of Bitcoin, 5K of Bitcoin more. If you put it all together, more. So you saw me opening up the books, adding more BTC. And I can't force you to do things. I can't, put your hand on the buy button. What I can do is show you what I do every single day with conviction and belief, right? So look, we've got this swing up to swing up. We've got this swing down to swing down. It's called hidden bullish divergence. You'd be like, what? Well, let me just show you, because a lot of people are confused, but Google is your friend. So you can type in this word, hidden bullish divergence, right? And if you type it in, you're going to see, and then go to images. I'm going to show you in a second. You're like, Sam, you're not sure. I will show you. I have studied this for years. I understand it very well. So look, you have this uptrend forming. Usually a shoulder, right shoulder possible, right? And then you have a downtrend, and that's called hidden bullish divergence. We have it right now for Bitcoin. Look at it. You see it here too. Okay. It's one of the, most people don't understand hidden divergence. They know regular divergence and bearish. I posted this on Twitter. A bunch of people said that's bearish divergence. You only draw bearish divergence on the top. Okay. When I teach divergence to my students, you only draw bearish divergence on the top. That is bearish divergence. If a bear were to attack you, he would jump on top of you, right? You would be fighting for your life. A bear on top. If a bull came at you, he would knock you back onto your bottom. So that's how I remember it. Bull on the bottom, bear on the top. I teach this to students and they'll go, I see bullish div, and they'll be up here. Or they'll be like, is this bullish div? And I'll be like, you can never have bullish div on top of charts. Bearish div on the top, bullish div on the bottom. This is a clear textbook formation of hidden bullish divergence. It tells you there's a 90% chance you will break this high before you break these lows. I can't tell you how insanely scientifically accurate this is. And it makes me say, like, I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen. Now, I have to trade this the way it is. I go hard with my money spot at these times. I buy a lot of Bitcoin spot like the institutions. I don't leverage my positions up. I use leverage for when the trend is my friend. So this is what I do for a living. You do what makes you happy. I buy spot Bitcoin and large altcoins by the 250,000, the 100,000 or more in these key areas. Like I do, and I'm not trying to brag, but my position sizes are large now because I've worked my way up and I've traded for over 20 years. And it took me a long time to open position sizes of $100,000. And I know to some people that's pipsqueak stuff and I'm just a tiny little blip of the map. But to me, I took years to get there and I'm proud of that. So I don't really care what other people think. It took me years to open positions up of $100,000. And they're ones that like, and I can handle them. Like I can have 10 of them open, 20 of them open. I can handle them. And I'm okay with the up and down, and I'm okay. You know what I mean? I can handle them. I really can. I've got my net worth to a place where it's okay to flip with to play with 100 grand, right? But that took me years, folks. I worked a night shift. I started making $175 a night. My story is a true American story that anybody can take a two shekels in their mind and turn it into gold, man. Like, I don't, that's why whenever I see someone starting with the excuse making, I can hear their excuses and I'm like, wow, he'll never get where I'm at. Because he's got too many excuses running, or she, that they're using their brain to make excuses. They're so creative with their excuses that they're lacking creativity and production and progression. You know, they're using so much of their time and energy to make an excuse that they're not getting anywhere. Bitcoin's still sitting at 94,000. Just chill. I don't see a crazy play right now. I want you to relax. That's why I'm not doing any live. We're really sitting at the bigger idea. I did go over some big time frame trades that I believe are highly probable, and that's kind of up to everybody else to assess, right? So I have given trades right now. Even people almost don't even realize how much has been assessed. I'd like to go over yesterday. Yesterday, I scalped in the morning and made about 450. I gave a scalp to the trading group that played out perfectly. That could have been the only thing I gave, but it wasn't. I gave long-term trades throughout the weekend that played out huge. I took profits at about 93,750. Okay, so I'm a little hundred, and I made over about $7,000 in a couple days. So I'm excited for that. 2026 seems great, and things are really opening up for us. And I knew there was opportunity towards the end of the year. The market was tight. Things didn't feel good. And I just kept believing there's got to be some opportunity out here. There's got to be some opportunity. And I stuck to the 3-day chart. And I opened up a trade. I kept open for days, and it ended up paying out. So, but it wasn't easy. And there was some drawdown. I was down a couple grand a couple times. But I was nowhere near my stop loss or liquidation. So I just, you know, I stuck to that Adam and Eve on the daily. I stuck to the bigger ideas. It's not easy to do. It took me a long time. Not easy to do by any means, shape, or form. So, yeah. Morgan Stanley, man, launching, they're jumping on into the Bitcoin train. I love it. And, you know, that's just what has to happen. So we've kind of solidified some bigger time frame ideas. We are going to whittle down. Look how fast we just did 93.6. That's insane. That was just a stop on anyone that went long. Look, we just dropped $400 in literally, like, I'd say under 30 seconds. Maybe I'm wrong, but that thing was just 94,000 and it's now 93.68. Am I wrong here? I got to move myself over just a bit. I love this suit. Shout out to Zenga. Zenga makes some amazing suits. Seriously. If you can ever afford yourself a Zenga suit, I highly suggest it. Zenga. My wife bought this for me though, so, but whatever. I'm just, you know, shouting them out for high craftsmanship. I like things that are made well. And, you know, this suit is made very well. So, also makes you feel good. The texture, the color. Unbelievable. Shout out to Zenga. Shout out to everyone out there on the live. Shout out to all my fathers raising children. My moms raising kids. Shout out to the parents that love each other, that are coming together to make a family. Shout out to everyone that's having a beautiful family experience with their children and their wife. Like I am. What a beautiful time it is to be alive. May God protect us all. Keep the evils away from our kids and our children and our wives. And bless us for more memories to come. Amen. And may God bless all of your children too. Zegna. Yeah, I misspelled it too. Zegna. Zenga. Yeah. Single father over here making it happen. We love you, brother. Survivano, we love you, man. God bless you, bro. Thank you. We love you, man. That means a lot to me. It can't be easy. My wife does so much. I don't know. I'd never be. Single father, man, I'd be a mess, bro. No way. I mean, I could do it if God would be by my side and I would get through it. But dang, man. Let's get real. That's not an easy job. So let's take a look here. Know what I see? What's interesting? I'm just going to double click these stochastics for you. But like, don't you see how this could even be an Adam and Eve? Am I crazy? Am I the only crazy one here? He's like, we have no food. We have no farm. Our pets' heads are falling off. I don't know why that just hit me, but it's like, can't you see? You know, he's like, what the hell? What? What is it? How the hell do these guys know that I got gas? It's the funniest. Shout out to everybody here. So that's an Adam and Eve on the stochastics RSI, is it not? Looks good to me. In the RSI, you know, and the MACD's turning up. So this is bullish, right, on the weekly. So now all we got to do is make sure that the weekly really stays above this new resistance, this new support at 90. Now we have support at 90,000. You could even say right there at 91.6, but solidified here. So we have strong weekly support now. Because look, these candles couldn't get above. This candle closed, and this candle's now back above. So you have support at 90,008. And you're headed back to the 21-day moving average, kind of like we talked about this morning, right? And then you got strong support at 86,750. Because look, resistance right there became your support on these bars. We talked about this. We went over this every day now. 5-day chart. I told you to assume it's in a bear flag. It's going to dump on our face. Right? And it very well may. That could turn into a wick, and it could come all the way back down to the bottom of this channel. We could still go to 59,000, folks. This could be a bear flag. That's why I'm not like, you know what I mean? If I buy Bitcoin, I'm buying it for 4 to 5 years. If we go down to 50K, then my buys that I just made are going to be DCA average. The reason why this seems unlikely to me is because I've never seen the fear and greed go to 10 and 11 and it not be like at least a 6 to, I'd say an 8 to 12 month bottom, like an 8 to 1 year bottom. It would be very rare. It would be very rare. Like, it would be an anomaly for me. And I've been studying these charts for like a long, Bitcoin since late 2016. So almost 10 years now for Bitcoin. And I've been trading other markets. I traded gold and silver on the Toronto Stock Exchange. I traded, gold miners and silver miners. I traded Hecla mining on the New York Stock Exchange. I traded gold and silver. I traded the Direxion Daily Global E3X ETF. It's now a 2X ETF, but it used to be a 3X. I used to trade JNUG and JDST on a regular basis. Look at that 1 hour candle. And we seem to be overbought there. And doesn't that look kind of like a head and shoulder? I keep telling people that the daily doesn't look amazing to me. And my update to my students last night and this morning, I suggested today would be a pullback sideways red day. And we may not be heavy trading today. There was a good scalp already, don't get me wrong, but look, we've been from 93.4 to 94.3, back to 93.5, back to 94.1, back to 94.3 in the last 2 hours. I mean, that's great volatility if you're scalping small time frames. Bang, bang, bang. Like, there was probably a good move on the 1 minute. I've noticed something about me. When I take a big win of over like $4,000 to $5,000, I tend to chill for a day or two now. The old me used to be like, so now I tend to like really sit with the win, clear my plate, let the win of the emotion come, because sometimes the win of the emotion can make you overtrade. Oh, I'm unstoppable. I'm going to go again. I can't be. And then you're back in a loss immediately somehow, and you don't even get to enjoy the win. It's happened to me. I've been up 10 grand. Next thing you know, I go right back in the next hour, and I'm down 3 grand. Now I have to wonder if I want to get out. I'm still up, but the trade's not as fun. And I'm like, why did I put myself in risk so fast? So I think I've learned in 2026, when I take a big win, I'm going to just, going to take that breather, man. I'm going to take that relaxing moment to say, yes, thank you for the win. Let's step back and relax. You know what I mean? So still assume this could be a bear flag, and still assume we could be bouncing down to 59. We're in a downtrend. We're still below the daily 200 moving average. We are still, like, the bulls have some work to do. If this was a war, we are losing the war as the bulls right now. Like, we were, you know what I mean? Like, we started it even. They have pushed into our territory. If this is home base, they had us here. We came off the bottom. We're right here in the war, but we didn't even break back to, like, where we started yet, and we didn't start to push the enemy back yet. The enemy could still kill us, man. We could still lose this baby. You see what I mean? It's not over yet. And I think that's a smart that I sold my trade yesterday. I'm very happy that I listened to my trader instincts, did what I was supposed to do, and paid the trader. Because today I'd still be in the trade wondering, like, right? Bro, trauma is real. Amen. God bless you. Yes, it is. Yeah. Anyone having trouble with the future section of weeks on my laptop? If you're having issues, just restart your computer or, close your browser and reset. Sometimes that happens. I rarely have an issue. Sometimes with just the charts loading, but never really with the actual button pressing. Yeah. Sir, where could ZK possibly reverse as TA? Thank you, Submit Hardwani. We'll take a look at that for you in the first super chat coming in today, I believe. Thank you so much for the fan funding. Oh, no, we have a couple in, actually. We have Shez Mupta. And he says, Pita, man. God bless you, brother. We love you. Hey, y'all, can you check XCN real quick? Shout out to Mom Bees Gosu. Yeah, we'll take a look at XCN. It has been moving. Can you show us how to set up the 21 to the 200? You're always using. Grateful for all you do, brother. Anytime. Shout out to Cedar Mean Love. I like that people are asking for like tutoring type of advice. I always would be on the channel and I do a lot of super chats and I'm like, but no one asked about like how to trade a certain idea or, where's the retest or, do you look for support or resistance? And they just like, I'm looking for those super chats, man. I want to teach here because your super chat is going to help someone else learn. You ever been in a class, someone asks a question and it answers your question and you're like, wow, man, I didn't even have to ask that person to help me. That's why they call it a mastermind. When a bunch of people get together, we learn faster. It's been proven. So when more people come together at one time, we learn faster. This is a proven fact. All right, it's called masterminding. It's called connecting. So welcome to the mastermind we have here today. So on the 5-day chart, we could still assume that this could be bearish. In 4 days and 9 hours, this candle closes. It could end up dumping, and we could give a lot of this back. So I don't want people getting overly bullish. Look, 94K was a huge deal. We had to break through that. And we hit resistance yet again. So don't keep this off of your, if you're in war right now, you're strategically planning. You're looking at all the different ways they could take you out of the war. This is how that's how I look at trading. It's like a strategic war. I'm looking at all the ways the war could take me out. I have to be ready for every single situation in war to win. I can't rely on the left. Oh, they're going to come from the left for sure. What do you mean? What if they come up and down? Hannibal won because he came from the back of the mountains with the elephants, right? Lost half his guys, but it was and who knows how true the story really is. But it sounds great, right? And I guess it is true, but I mean, there are some pieces to that story. But let's go for it. He came from the back of the mountains with the elephants, and it was a surprise attack, man. You know what I mean? The whole point, they never thought you have to be open-minded that anything is possible. What if he comes over the mountains with the elephants? You know what I mean? You just gotta have the possibility there that something you're not thinking about could occur. Who wants me bigger? Let's get bigger, baby. Let's get bigger. Yeah. Yeah, look nicer, bigger, more featured. Yeah. 93,005 for Bitcoin. Nice little short actually could be in play. Shorting 94,000 has been the play every time. It's worked out like 7 times in a row. It's kind of crazy. Let's go to the 3-day chart. Back above the 200. That gets me hyped. Again, though, they faked that signal a couple times. But it does get me excited, and it says, hey, this could be the beginning of something big. It really could. And to me, it does look like a bit like an Adam and Eve. And to me, it did breach the neckline already. You're breaking above this. That means you have supported 92.5 on the 3-day chart. You're in a big gap in the VRVP. If in 6 to 9 days, you're at 104,750, you got to be like, woo-hoo-hoo. Again, I run a bot. You can figure out how to run that bot by going to Minotaur. All right, and we have many bots too in many different ways. But Minotaur Trading Systems, check that out. Okay? And then if you go here, and I see the bot running on my API connected to TradingView all the time. And I know when the bot's going to get out. I know how many buy orders it's made. I can see all the orders it's created. And it's in a massive trade right now. And if it gets out, it's going to pay itself very heavily at about 103,000. It's taking months for this trade to play out. The bot has never lost. Algorithmically, it seems to know the market better than all of us. So I do use AI in a portion of my trading because I want to sleep. But there's moves I can't make all the time, and there's big trades that I'm not good at holding long-term trades. So I let the bot do things that I'm not great at. You see? I am nice at making $5-6 grand a day. So I nailed Bitcoin this weekend, right? I'm a great leverage swing trader, couple day trader. I can nail the 1 minute, 5 minute. I'm strong. I know what I'm strong at. You know what I mean? I have a hard time holding trades for 3 to 4 months. It's very hard for me to hold a trade more than 2 to 3 weeks. I think the longest I held a trade was like 20 days, And I know the biggest traders can hold trades for like 4 months straight and make some serious money. And I can do it spot. And I've made big money spot. So I've already kind of done the due diligence. Maybe I'm being less ambitious. Maybe I could be harder in my trading. Maybe I've made so much it's making me soft. I wonder sometimes because I used to be really aggressive. And I've noticed that I'm not as aggressive as a trader as I used to be. But then my mind says, of course you're not. You've been fat. You've been fed. You got fat, bro. You used to be brokey on a night shift in a 1-bedroom apartment with nothing. Of course you were risking it all. If you went back to zero, it didn't matter. I used to risk it all the time. I'd have 10 grand in my account. I'd put it all in something. You know what I mean? Hey, I emptied my account into Bitcoin constantly. I went all in on Bitcoin. I really did, everybody. If Bitcoin didn't go up, I was going to be a broke dope. I put all my money into it. I put everything I had, every time, all the time, for years. People thought I was insane. They thought I was insane. I said, man, when the thing hits 100K, I'll never work again. And they didn't believe me. And I would break it down for them when it was 8,000, 6,000, 7,000, 11,000. My sister, my friend, my teacher, my brother, my dentist. If you knew me, I was convincing you to buy BTC. Eventually, nobody listened to me. They ridiculed me. They laughed at me. They called me psychotic. So I went online. After years of doing that, or a couple of years of doing it, I went online. And eventually people started listening to me towards the end of 2016, and then I started my channel in 2019, halfway through. So for 2.5 years, I'm preaching Bitcoin to everyone and anyone I know. I show them Litecoin at $5 on Coinbase. I say, hey, listen, I found Ethereum at $9. A guy shows it to me in the street. It goes to $89. I don't buy it when he tells me about it. And I'm like, dang, I'm kicking myself. I'm looking at Ethereum at $89. A guy told me to buy it at $9. A $9 Ethereum. That's how early I was into altcoins. Okay? And so you could say, well, I got lucky, but I was already investing. I already started buying gold and silver years before that. That led me to trading gold and silver. That led me to taking advantage. Then I started trading and swing trading different things. Like one time I traded a stock called STL because they said they were going to pump water out when Houston got hit by a hurricane. And I saw the hurricane coming. I literally bought the stock. They got a government contract to pump the water. Their stock went up, dude. It was crazy. The hurricane hit. I made money off a hurricane. It's so sad. I don't want to be like, and again, but the point is, I was doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Like I was speculating. I got really speculative. And then I started seeing marijuana was going to get legal. And I said, man, if I buy the right marijuana stocks and marijuana becomes legal, how can I not win? And then I studied Bruce Linton. And I always told people I like to buy people and not companies. So I studied Bruce Linton. The guy was amazing, great businessman. He took control of Canopy Growth Corp. I went all in on Canopy Growth Corp. They went up here. I bought them on the Toronto Stock Exchange. They went and getting listed on the New York Stock Exchange. I bought them before that. So think about if you bought a stock before it hit the New York Stock Exchange. Think about your payday there. And then once that payday came in for me, I understood Bitcoin. I learned about it at $800, $350. I knew about it. I knew Bitcoin at maybe even $200. I knew about Bitcoin. I actually knew about Bitcoin when it was like $1 or something. I was going to mine it, but I didn't know what it was. It was like this little, they called it this digital thing. Like it was like not even really called Bitcoin at the time. People were just like, people called it different things. It was crazy. And I decided to move on. I was about to mine it at a very, oh man, I missed the boat on that. But it's okay. God had a direction for me. God had a plan for me, and I believe and I submit to God's plan. I don't push against God's plan. I move with it. I use it. It's just like a wave. When you're a surfer, you're not bigger than the ocean. There's a big force, the ocean. You try to surf against the waves. How does that work? You get hurt, seriously. You use the wave. The wave comes and you surf the wave. God is very similar in my metaphorically speaking to God. God is a wave of energy. I have to be honest, a lot bigger than you, man. And you're in that. And you can jump onto God's wave and ride a wave with him, however you want to. You can ride God's wave. It's there. It really is there. There's an energy force tapped in. And once you're tapped in, your frequency is tapped in, you are riding a wave. I am riding a wave right now. I feel it every day of my life. I wake up with vibrance, energy, and gratitude. I know that the next day is going to be amazing. I know that every day is in my palm of my mind, the palm of my mind, right? The palm of my hand and the palm of my mind to make it amazing. If I'm depressed that day, if things aren't going that well that day, if I'm not feeling well that maybe I ate the wrong foods that put me out, maybe I didn't get a good night's sleep and my body's off. Okay? We are human beings. That means being. Say the word being. You are being. You are inside of a formation. And you're a being. You are being right now. You get it? That means sometimes your body's going to be a little off. You're not going to be perfect. It is what it is. And that's why we get good night's sleep. That's why we drink high, electrolyte, coconut water and water. That's why we stay away from alcohol, because it does nothing for this beautiful body God gave us. It's like sugar to a gas tank. There's no reason to put alcohol inside of the body. It doesn't do anything for the body. All the things people claim alcohol does for them, you can find in many other ways through meditation, exercise, and just simply putting your mind to it. Let's take a look at that daily chart and see what's happening now on the daily. Daily is still in what I assume to be an Adam and Eve double bottom, but this could still be a possible bear flag too, right? So let's not put it past this idea here that what if, and again, we're very far from the 21-day moving average. And even when we were close to the 21, we didn't get the pump. So this tells me to be a little careful. And what I want to see personally, what would make the most sense, pullbacks are great because what they do is they test levels. If a level gets tested, when you have a friend, and let's just say some people are first become friends because something happens and they test the relationship. You know, someone leaves their wallet at your house. You don't know them that well. They don't know where they left it. Nobody knows but you because they, you know, when they got up, it fell into the floor. No one saw it. Everyone leaves. You pick it up. You immediately call them. You know what I mean? And you say, hey, man, here's your wallet, right? Most people would, right? But there's some people that wouldn't, right? Or there's some people that would have seen it at the house. Maybe it's my house. Someone drops it. They see it. They kick it under the sofa. When no one's looking, they grab it. You never know. Nobody knows, right? My whole point is you always have the chance to do the right or the wrong thing. The more you do the right thing, the better off you become as a person, right? And you gain that character. And so what I was saying too is you gain friendship because things get tested, right? So if you ever had a friend and you knew they could have stolen from you, but they didn't, sometimes you guys become fast friends because you're like, wow, man, I know you're a good person and I never had to know you. We were put in a predicament to get to know who you were, and I found out. Same thing when price action tests an area, like it's going to test 91.5. That makes the relationship to the bull stronger. This could be kind of a cup and handle here. So I wouldn't put it past Bitcoin to do a little bit of a retracement here. From this wick to this wick here, possibly to the 618, a wick to the 786 at 90,006. Touch that 21 and begin its bigger run. Then make this move through the gap. So we have two scenarios. Bitcoin gets tight on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Doesn't do this and rips up. Just keeps kind of bulling up. Pulls the 21 with it, and that flag comes later on. Right? The 21 comes later on. This is why now we have to watch the 1 hour and the 4 hour very closely. See, my strategy is key, but it teaches you now. The thing about my strategy that's very difficult, I think, for most people, is now once you understand my strategy, the 21, the 200, how the time frames blend into each other, how the 1 minute turns into the 5 to the 15, the 15 to the 1 hour, the 1 hour to the 4 to the 8, the 8 to the daily. Once you understand my madness of price action, why we do the top-down analysis here every day. Once you understand that, right, it gets even more difficult to follow along with me because now you have to know what time frames matter. And that changes with time. Funny, right? But like right now, I know if this daily candle closes a red candle here, it's not going to be amazing. Like we don't, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not amazing. And then I just look at the previous areas where you have a tweezer top and bottom. I'm telling you, man, tweezer tops and bottoms are going to be, I started honing in on tweezer tops and bottoms about 18 months ago. And then when I was traveling, I'd be traveling I was traveling in Singapore. I was traveling in Lisbon. And I'd be busy most of the day. So I started trading big time frames. Like I'd look at the chart and I'd see this green candle starting to close next to this red one. It would be like 12 at night. I'd say, oh, that looks pretty. I'd open the trade and go to sleep with a stop there. Wake up. Then the atom, you know what I mean? Or I'd grab this one. Whenever I saw a green candle close next to a red one, that one had a nice pump. Might have come and got you. That one, that one played out. If you had a front run this one, and I front run them sometimes too. If I see the smaller time frames, like say the 1 hour is above the 200 and so is the 4 hour, I'll front run the daily candle because the odds that daily candle is going to fill up are high because I can see the small time frames are breaking out. So by using the smaller time frame moving averages on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, it helps me to long tweezer bottoms on the daily because it gives me the confidence that that's going to be a probable tweezer bottom that's going to play out. You see what I mean? Now on opposite, I can use like the 15 minute that looks bullish and I could trade a 1 minute scalp. The 15 minute gets above the 200. I see that it's going to make a bigger move. I go back to the 1 minute and I scalp the 1 minute when it gets above the 200. I'm always using time frames in tandem. It's very rare I use one time frame without backing it up with another one. Because when I used to do that and not look, I'd get bad. And my subconscious mind knows too much now. I might see something on the 1 hour that I know isn't great. But if I don't look at the 1 hour, how do I know? And that might override all the other things I saw because it's such a bearish signal. Like we might get rejected by a main area and I see us just losing the 15 minute 200 moving average. I know that's bearish, but the 1 hour still might look kind of bullish. You don't look at the 15 minute, you get pulled in and next thing you know, it's a stop hunt on the 1 minute, you get slammed and you're like, why? Well, because a stop on the 1 minute because you never looked at the 15. And the 15 minute was telling you. See how this gets difficult? Because now you have to be better at looking at multiple time frames at once and making decisions quicker. That's not easy. That takes time. That's why when people try to follow with me, they get a little frustrated. And some of them think it doesn't work. Some of them are like, because it's hard, man. Nothing should be easy. If my system was so easy that the whole world could just snatch it. And again, there's some ways that I can teach you to use my system. We can piece it away. Like we can get you on the 5-minute trading the 200 moving average. Like every time the 5-minute breaches the 200, you open a long. Like right here, and you put a stop on the other side of the lowest low. Right here, had you done the strategy here, you would have made a nice gain. Had you done it right here, you would have made it. So right there, 1 for 1, had you done the trade. Wherever you wanted to take the money, I mean, you could still be in the trade if you wanted. There, it broke out above the 5-minute 200 moving average yet again. Stop below, like, you just look left. You zoom in. You see the two. Once you're above the 200, you see it. Then you draw a support or resistance line. You draw like 1 or 2. And then what I like to do is I like to get in when you break. I found it's great to wait for the flag. But you sometimes can miss doing that. And you just, when I put my stop loss, like probably like right there. See that resistance right there? Let me zoom in on that for you. But that resistance right there would be where I would be putting my stop below. And that gives me not only the 200, which is strong, but it gives me 3 levels below, that basically defend my stop. And that's why I'm able to trade at 47x leverage and get in right and put my stop loss like really, like I can get in at 90,078 and have my stop loss at 89,850, just like $200 away. And the odds of me winning. So I figured out a way to be extremely risky on small time frames. Okay. But I have a system that I use over and over again. So what I'm doing seems so, like I don't even notice it now. Like I do it all the time and I act like it's nothing. And then yesterday I look at it, I'm like, dude, that's high risk trading compared to most people. And to me, I don't even notice it anymore because it's just what I've been doing now for years. It's just, and every time I trade, it's 3 to 1. It's 3 to 1. It's 3 to 1. It's very important. I'm trading 3 to 1. Yeah, a little too big, right? A little too, I don't need to be that big. Shout out to Zabby. Zab. Can you look at the 1 hour on deep? It looks good, but all depends on the direction of BTC. Sideways Bitcoin can be good for all coins. Okay. Sideways, so look, I mean, see that? That's a tight moving averages. Above the 200, touching the 21, I'm all in there. And it even tells you where it's going to go. You just take the length here. It says, hey, I'm going to go hit. I'm going to be at 91.8 eventually, and it hits it. It made a flag here again. Did the same thing. Even inside this flag, it made an inverted head and shoulder. As it did that, it got above the point of control. It gave you the gap. It told you where the next area to take profits was. Like, the VRVP is insane. Like, it tells you where you're going to go. So what I do is I could use none of this and just the VRVP, and it would be right. I could use no VRVP and just the moving averages, and it would be right. I could use none of the moving averages and just the patterns, and I'd be right. Look, I could remove this and the VRVP, and I'd still nail it. I'd see the inverted head and shoulder, and I'd get in on the right shoulder with a stop below the head. Same thing here, get in on the shoulder, stop below the previous low. I'd use the stochastics RSI to entry. I can teach you so many ways to fillet the fish, it's insane. My system is so embedded and layered, and you don't even need it all. You choose what pieces you want once you're as good as I am at it. Some days I use tweezer bottoms now and just can't. Some days I trade straight tweezer. Like I go to the chart, and I can go, like, let's just say BTC, USDT, Bybit spot. I'll go here, remove drawings and 7 indicators. I need nothing. I could trade this just alone. The indicators make me very precise. But like to me, that was a bull flag or a bullish rectangle that had a 68% chance of a breakout, and it had a measured move. There's no indicator needed here. There are also previous support resistance with the wicks. We wicked right into that area. So you could put a stop loss right below this resistance wick, and that would have played out. Same thing here. We saw a flag here. Tight price action. This was kind of this was a double bottom. It said that once you broke the neckline, you were going to break up to here with the measured move. Like, just crazy, right? Kind of an inverted head and shoulder. And but that's kind of a double bottom too in a way, even though it's hard to see. I've learned the patterns are so skewed. That's a head and shoulder that played out. Retested the neckline and dumped to the target. It's just crazy. So it's all there. And then you can see how this is also like a giant head and shoulder that played out. It's quite fascinating to me, really. And you say, well, Sam, why do you use so many indicators? And why do you have so much on your screen? Like, because it could be so simpler. Well, I'll be honest, because I'm teaching you guys all these different ways to trade. And I want you to have so many skills in your back pocket that you just can't be denied. There's days that I open up a trade on the long-term time frame, it doesn't work out. I take a couple losses, and then I scout my way back to victory because I have the knowledge of the smaller time frame. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to do it, right? So the key to this analysis is we do a bunch of it, but then we come to like some key points. So now let's kind of wrap it up. Between 11 and 11:15, I like to wrap up Bitcoin. Then I'm going to dive into the super chats. Then I'm going to talk to each and every one of you. We're going to, and we end Bitcoin because at this point we've spent an hour on Bitcoin. We've given it, I've already analyzed it for like an hour and a half with the trading group. But Bitcoin, this is how I believe, this is how hard, and people say, oh, you're putting in too much time, you know. But man, I really understand price action, and I'm always learning. The time I put into Bitcoin teaches me how to trade the Dow Jones and everything else. So what I'm telling people is I just want to see the 4-hour flag out. These could be your lowest prices here, and we could end up making a beautiful flag. I'd like us to stay really like right here, even like there's a lot of resistance even right there. I'd like us to stay above this yellow line there, above 92.5, 90, yeah, what was that? 92.9. I'd like to see the 4-hour take its time. And again, when you open that up and look at it, that's time. And I don't, people understand, I don't think people understand how long stuff takes. Everyone wants to make money immediately. Big money is made in speculating, waiting, and hitting what you prepare for. So there's 1 day and 20 hours now till breakout. If things go our way, if we don't start to break down. Got a lot of support waiting for us here. Look at this. Resistance, resistance, bounce, bounce, resistance right there. Even right there. So key areas we broke above. I like it. But, you know, and let's break down some news again. I like just coming in with the news for you. 697 million inflow. BlackRock ETF sparks Bitcoin price rebound signal. After a turbulent experience of massive outflows on the spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds market in December of 2025, momentum has shifted. The latest Farsight investor data shows that the Bitcoin ETF market recorded a total of 690 million in inflows, with BlackBit's IBIT leading the charge. BlackRock's IBIT leads Bitcoin ETF inflows. Wow. So they recorded 287 million in inflows, contributing more than half of the total inflows of the entire market. The development signals BlackRock has again taken the leading role, pulling inflows in to the sector. Although the latest figure reveals, and can you see this? Like they buy, they pump the market. You see what I'm saying? It's like we are at the whims of the big money. It is what it is, whether you realize it or not. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Some people said this is what you asked for. You got your institutional money. Now it's here. Congratulations, you know. Manipulation. So again, I do the Twisted Sister. And I did it last night. And I said to my students, the odds are that this is it. Last night looked like the one I was going to rip. I bet a lot of people longed and got hurt. Because it you know, my emotion, and I told myself just to chill and go to sleep. Have a good night's sleep and relax. Enjoy the win that I had. You know what I mean? Very important that we're doing these things. This is the therapeutic way to trade. This is how you make it long term. You've got to focus on your mindset every single day. There may not always be a trade that day. There may not always be a move that day. The key is to maintain your mental stability so that when the market comes in and out, you stay consistent. If you find consistency in your life, the market will have a harder time of making you emotional. But if you're up and down all the time, the market's going to make you, oh my gosh, you're going to have a tough time. So last night I saw, that was technically a short right there, but volatile. Like you would have to wait, come all the way back up. It's just not my thing. That's not my strategy. I haven't back tested that for years, but I can see that it plays out back to the 21. So I'm just looking for the 4-hour to touch the 21-day moving average before our next big move. And the daily also has me a little weary that we could be coming back to retest like 92.150. So I see now if I see the daily below like 91.5, 90,000, that means we're likely coming back down to 88. And that means this could be a complete breakdown. So today I wouldn't really do much. As far as Bitcoin trading, we might get a bounce here off the 200 moving average there on what? That's the 12 minute. Yeah, you don't want to see the 15 minute lose the 200. If that loses the 200, we're going lower, like probably to 91.2, and then the other idea comes in. Okay. And again, this may not be the answer everybody wants because it's not a definitive. It's, hey, I'm observing the market. This could be a great entry here with a stop like below these levels. If you get stopped down, it didn't work out, but if it doesn't, it starts to consolidate. So that's why I would watch your 5 minute, your 4 hour, I would watch this type of flag here. And you know what? In a day and a half, we're right here sideways. I mean, there's a huge chance you're breaking out. Even if you come down, and there's a good chance. But the entry's either going to be there or there. And by using this twisted sister method that I've created, by creating two different pathways and waiting for one to fill, I'm able to take the trade that comes to me, and I'm not going to just overtrade the market. So the trade has to fill out my way. I basically am designing my way already before it happens, and I'm telling the trade, you play out my way, I'm taking you. You don't play out my way, I'm not like this, you know. What's not my way? Not my way is a head and shoulder pattern that starts to dump today, and we end up down here, which is very possible at 89.9. So right now, rejection of the 94,000 has the bears piling up. People like to short that area. Also, I looked at a lot of tweets the last few days, and a lot of people are saying, you know, I've told you to short this. Everything is a bear trap. We're in a bear market. I'll be honest, man. Hidden bullish is so strong. It's got me sitting there saying, we can't listen to the masses so fast. You know, a lot of analysts on Twitter are telling everyone that this is a dead cat bounce. I don't know. I'm open-minded to believe that, you know, I have to tell you, I have to believe we're still in a bear market because the 5 days in a, you know what I mean, still in a bear flag. And we didn't break back above 94,000. I had key lines that I need to see before I'm overly bullish. And that's just how it is. That's that. You know, no. Dear Lord, thank you for all the beautiful people here. Over 1,200 beautiful souls here on the live stream. Maybe get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate that. And thank you, God, for all the likes that you did give me. I'm very appreciative of everything I receive in my life. Through gratitude, I've seen abundance. And I receive so much abundance every single day. I don't think people would even realize. If I told, one day I'm going to write my life story in my book. And you guys are going to find out what I really did and how I did it. And I think it's going to be like, I don't think anyone's going to believe it. People still don't even know who I really am in the industry, what I really do, how I push this space in a major way, in so many ways, connect so many people. But it'll all come to light one day, man. I just want to let you know I love you all. I appreciate everybody. And I'm so thankful because without you, I have no platform. I have no voice. I can't say I have 100,000 subscribers. You guys are my subscribers. And I walk around, look at me, 100,000 subs, and people get all impressed. So I'm impressed because you hit the subscribe button. Because of you, I have a real life. Like I'm a known person. I travel the world. If any one of you didn't hit the like button, subscribe button, I never would have gotten anywhere. So thank the Lord that you guys showed up. Thank the Lord the YouTube algorithm graced me with some presence online. And thank God that everyone showed up the way they did even today and for days on end. Thank you so much, everyone. From the bottom of my heart, from my family to yours, and for all the attention you guys give my channel, I just want to say thank you. I never want to be that pompous guy. I never want to get above of where I'm at. I never want to be above my community. I never want to show garbage to you guys. I use exchanges because those are the exchanges I use. They work for me. Nothing crazy there. You know, we don't shill coins. We don't shill garbage. When I even see a questionable super chat, I don't put it out. You know what I mean? I'm here to protect everyone here on this channel to the best of my abilities, just like my mom and dad protected me, man. I had a great mother. She loved me, so I know how to love people. A lot of people weren't loved. They don't know how to love people. I know how to love people. I really do. I know how to use love. I know how to create love, and I know how to find love. And I'm not afraid to use the word love, and I'm not afraid to tell you that I love you. I know that love is the strongest frequency, and with love, you cannot be denied. I use love every single day, constantly, in all of my endeavors. When you're full of love, you cannot be full of fear. That's what I learned. And all the things I did wrong in life were usually due to fear. If I started a fight with someone, it's because I was afraid. And then I got myself in trouble. You know, if I did something stupid to a friend or family member, it's because it was usually out of fear, jealousy, hate. Jealousy is a form of fear. Hate is a form of fear. When you hate someone, it's because you're afraid of them. You know what I mean? Or there's something inside of you that reminds you of them and you hate it. It's weird. Like, hate is an internal vibe. People think when they hate someone, it's the person they're hating, but it's actually them. You're grabbing a frequency that you desire to use. Stay away from low frequencies. Love is a high frequency. If you use the word love a lot, you'll be around loving people. You'll connect to loving people. People that are loving will be around you. You'll attract what you think about. You'll attract what you talk about. If you talk about love a lot, you will attract it over and over again, right? So yeah, I see that that could be that's a right shoulder, is it not? On the 1 hour time frame. It looks like you could be in for a little bit of a short here. I'm not going to short it. I'm going to wait for the 4 hour to come to the 21 and make my decision. I'm going to trade bigger time frames and lay off the sauce. But that looks like a shoulder, head right shoulder to me. And it tells me to be careful. It tells me to be careful though, right? No lie, no jokes. So here. I see, and again, I told you I saw sideways or red day today. And they've been kind of spiking it to 94 a few times, making it look like I'm wrong. But so far, we've been pretty nice. And today, sideways days are hard to call because if you call it sideways, you just have to call it sideways and then it goes sideways. No one will know if you're right until it goes sideways. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty good at calling it up, down, or sideways on any given day. Looks like it's going to move down, honestly. It might even challenge 92 and 92.3 there. And again, I'm just looking for the bounce and sideways or the fall inside. Either of these are cool with me. And take us to the 4 hour 21. Let's see if that can hold off the daily. And be open-minded that the daily has to retrace. And be okay with it. It's been 5 straight days of pumping, everybody. The greatest thing happened, and I'll tell you what happened. It's formation over structure, and the idea is this. We got above the 200 this time, and the 21 crossed. The 21 has not crossed the 200 since October 1st. That was the last time the 21 crossed. October, November, December, man. It's been 3 months. Last time before that was September 11th. Then it was October 8th. And then it was June 24th. And then all the way down here on April 12th. And every time it was a pretty good pump, right? Every time the 4 hour got above the 200, we might have had some ups and downs like this one coming back and tested, but overall the movement was up. It's a very good sign that we have more coming our way. We just got to flag out. The 4 hour just has to do some consolidation above resistance. That's all we need is some consolidation above like 91.6, 91.7. Okay? So wouldn't stress. All is well. I have control over the situation. I've got a good handle over BTC. And it does look like the 1 hour is in a head and shoulder pattern. That's going to dump further. And last night I saw the 15-minute can consistently make lower highs over and over again. Then today they tried to make this look like it was going to be a bigger breakout. I knew not to chase that. Something in me told me not to chase. I can't explain it. There was a piece of FOMO that said, what if it keeps ripping? And I said, don't listen to that. I said, you made good gains yesterday. Be grateful. All will fall into place. And so far, all has fallen into place so far. So I got to say that I see either sideways or short price action today. And I don't see, my system and strategy doesn't tell me to jump on anything right now. It tells me just to lay low. All right. Now we have 40 minutes to go over all coins, have some fun, take a look at the whole market, see if there's any glaring information. So one thing we see is big money is flowing in from institutions. And to me, they're front-running the rate cuts. They're front-running cheaper money. They have access to more money than most people. The other institutions are going to get in, but they're going to be late. Like, everyone's going to buy Bitcoin, but, like I showed you, the top 500 companies, 50 you're buying now to 100. And the next 200 are going to come in with it in a wave, and then that last 150 are going to be buying the slim pickings. And that's just what happens in business, right? Not everyone makes the first move. Now, in 10 years from now, they'll all be considered early, and it will be okay. So that's the key. And that's how Bitcoin is. It's like, Bitcoin's like, at least play ball. Just jump in. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but for me, it's just like, just jump in. And it all starts with $1, $2. Like, someone buys $20 worth of Bitcoin at 80K. A month or two later, it's worth $30, $26, and they go, wow, I get it now. And they see inflation would have been at $19.75. Like, they already would have lost 25 cents. The one thing that got me, the reason why I got into Bitcoin, the real reason, was just understanding how the dollar loses value over time. You see what I'm saying? And, 97% of its purchasing power since since what, 1907 or since it's in 1913 or something like that, since its inception. So I assume over time that no matter what we do, no matter what strategies we use, no matter how many more people use it and prevalent it becomes, the dollar will continue to lose value over time. There'll be some ebb and flows, but over time, it's on a downtrend. And so I need to extrapolate myself out of that value system, 100%. And Bitcoin does that for me. So Bitcoin just achieves a goal for me. It keeps me out of fiat currency. It's really the main reason. I keep it simple. I don't need 100 reasons to be in Bitcoin. I just need a few. I just need really one. And that's to separate myself, to take a risk-averse approach, because it's risky to be in fiat currency if it's constantly going down. Would you want to be in an asset that's constantly going to the downside and has it potential to go lower every single year because you know it's going to get more and more prevalent to the point where scarcity is not an option for it? You know what I mean? I'd be wary of that. And I am wary of that. So I defend myself from fiat by buying BTC. I'm not trying to become... See, I was never trying to become a multimillionaire when I bought Bitcoin. I had hopes and dreams it would get big and it would be kind of a fun ride, you know? But my main decision was to keep myself from going into, you know, if you work for 10 years and you get fiat and they print money for 10 years and then you also pay taxes, there's a good chance that like 3.5 to 4 of those years, you actually went to work for free, completely for free. For free. Fine, even if you said taxes aren't for free, fine, I like to pay my taxes, which I get it. I like to do too. You do your part. It is what it is. People, you know, I contribute and I move on. Like I don't second guess it. But the idea is there's still inflation there that's that's individually stealing. And then there's fractional reserve lending at the banks. Then there's how they, you know, buy and sell bonds at the Federal Reserve. They're procreating funds all the time with no balance sheet. How does that not lower the value of the dollar? It does. Of course it does. So for me, I want to get myself out of that situation. You know, I now trade for fun. I now trade because I have free time to play with the money and I want to get better at it. That's why I'm trading leverage lately. I don't have to trade leverage. I'm not trying to pay the bills with leverage. It's not the end of my life if I don't. I do it because I actually enjoy to trade. Like I get to actually explore my mind with trading. I would love for you to get there because once you're there, it's so free. The person that has to get it usually doesn't. The person that's free and moving attracts all the wealth. You know what I mean? When I had so much pressure on me all the time, I usually failed. Once I saw things from a bigger perspective and I could be light about it, and that's the law of detachment. I started learning the laws of this universe. The law of detachment is so key. So look, we talked about Deep Book yesterday making a flag. Look, it did it. My flag was a little off. I projected. Yeah, I didn't know what it was going to do, but I said, look for it to flag out here. And I said, I see it pumping up to 4.9. Hit my exact target. Pretty sweet, huh? And again, touching the 21, stop loss below the 200. That was payday right there. So, and someone asked about this yesterday on stream, right? And that's 23%. Again, high risk, high reward for sure. But yes, thank you for bringing that up. Can you show us a setup, how to set up the 21 and the 200 SMA? Let's talk about that. So there's a couple ways to do it. Let's take a look at just a regular chart here. I'll remove the moving averages for now, and we'll just look at a chart by itself. How do you add the moving averages? You go here to indicators, and you could just type in MA, and you can add one moving average. Simple. I use simple moving averages, right? So you'd click on that. It always gives you the 9 for some reason. That's just what it does. And you would slap this to 21. You could turn it white because we're white. You know, we use white. Not we're white, you know what I mean? But we use white here. We're white on the 21. It sounds stupid, but we're all different colors here. I'm not even really white. I am my peach or something. Funny, that looks like a breaching head and shoulder line that's coming down somewhere at least to this line here. See? And you lost the POC on the 15. You got to be able to read this stuff. Bearish div, lower high. So the point is, anyway, that's how you add the 21. And then if you want to add the same way, and then you could do the exact same thing. You go here, right? You go to MA. You type simple moving average. Click on it. Go here. Settings. Inputs, turn it to the 200. Style, turn it yellow, and then bang. And you can also use the 5 EMA. Go here to CBC and hit 5 MA DRS. That's one indicator that's going to give you 5 moving averages. That's what I'm using. See? So mine says 5 MA. You could also use the 5 MA, but that one, you know. And this is 5 moving average. The 21, the 50, the 80, the 100, and the 200. And that's why I get my tight my openness. But I'm really using the 21 and the 200 mainly. 50 comes into play sometimes, but I really only need the 21 and the 200. They're the main focus of how I'm trading, right? And that's a dump down to the 15-minute 200 moving average, which I expected. This all makes sense to me. You know, I told you today was likely going to be a pullback. You had 5 days of pumping on the day. Then why didn't you short today, Sam? Because I don't have to trade every single day of the week, man. I think that's foolish. I need to resting my brain, having lunch with my wife. You know what I mean? Doing 2 hours of constant teaching without stopping a day. And I'm going to be in the Discord all day long. I love this life. I wouldn't change it for the world, man. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't change it for the world. So look, I mean, a dump, that's a head and shoulder. Look, there was even kind of a head and shoulder here. It wasn't perfect, but it was there. It was like a long right shoulder head, right? That's a head and shoulder there. They can be like this. They don't have to be amazing. They can be like this. You know what I mean? It doesn't really, I mean, they're usually better than that. But it's still like, wow, now that's the dump, man. Wow, and look, we lost the 1 minute 200 moving averages, which is my strategy to get out. Once you lose that 200, look, you barely retested it. Look at that, shoulder, head, right shoulder. I would have shorted that on a, you know, that's a scalp right there. And how do you scalp an inverted head and shoulder? You just short with a stop right there and let that puppy pump. That was a nice gain. I bet you some of the lifers took that. And again, flip it upside down. It's my exact strategy that I trade on the daily every day bullishly. I wait for the 21 to touch above the 200. So you can take my strategy and you can flip it upside down every day. Again, you should have a simple strategy that you can go at the mark. You can trade the NASDAQ this way every day. You can just wait on the 5 minute and see if we cross the 200 and touch the 21, take a trade. And you could see if we cross below the 200 and touch the 21, take a short. This is upside down right now. It's the short. It looks just like the long we trade every day, right? And it's the way you can short along the market any day. The market can be your payday piggy bank. I'm right now with this video right here. You don't use anything. You don't need to watch any other YouTuber for the rest of your life. You don't need to know any other strategy for the rest of your life. All you need to do, I've been doing this now for years. I've been making thousands of dollars. You just saw me take $7,000 off the table. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I don't know what else to say. You know. So I don't mean to brag, but I like to at least talk about results. I mean, if I was learning from a race car driver, I'd like to know he wasn't crashing against the wall every second. I'd like to see him win the race. Amen. Raise the roof, baby. Raise the roof. Let the roof on fire, baby. Burn, burn, burn. And so there you have it. Now you're going to get away from the 21. That's too far. It's a good time to take money from the short as the 5 minute gets exhausted. And there we have it now. The breakdown. You see? Now that daily candles you got to keep in the back of your mind is now closing a tweezer top. And so and then you have to say we could be in a bear market. We could be going to 57,069. You can't get overly euphoric in this market. You can't get overly bearish. You have to be super calm every day. One step at a time. Okay with what happens. Take your wins and losses. I'm long term. All right? Certain alts and Bitcoin. 100%. That keeps me sane when the market, and I got a bot running. And I got other bots I'm going to show you in the next few weeks that are running. So I'm starting to automate my system so when I'm asleep, there's still money coming in. When I got things running, I still got my you know, the market's getting too automated. You're going to start seeing me move into automation on the channel because I want to, you know what I mean? I want to get money all year, all day. And these bots are really activated and they're good. And I got a really good system, another system. And what I do is I play with things for like 2 months straight before I even mention them to you. And when so I haven't revealed this yet, but I've been playing with bots now for about 47, 50 days. And even my team has been playing with it. And we're all getting implemented. I'm turning even the techie people in my group into traders. They're opening bots now. They understand. And we're bringing basically, this is what I like about everyone in my company is we're all trade-orientated people. We're not afraid. You know what I mean? And we also know how to push the boundaries. And the people on my team are high. I personally kind of want to brag about my team because I think I have one certain person, which I'm like, I think I have one of the smartest people in the world, man, on my team. I really do. I think if I assess this person's IQ, it would be extremely high, man. And it's like when you get given a person like that in your life, like that's a huge responsibility, huge blessing, right? And I know God has blessed our company with just amazing talent. Amazing talent. I don't think you guys know what's coming for you guys in 2026 with my company, with my dreams, with my beliefs, with what we're building. But mark my words, man, what could you think would come out of the most consistent camp in the game? I mean, it can only be amazing, right? So shout out to my whole team. Shout out to Zeno. Shout out to my wife. Everyone knows kind of who they are and what they do for my company. And just know that, like, I know I am blessed. Every single person I've come in contact with is the best at what they do, man. And I know that. And I only hire the best. My staff is unbelievable. No one's better than them, man. And that's why you'll never beat us. You hear me, everyone out there? You'll never beat the lifers because our staff is just too dedicated. Because their leader, Sam Price, doesn't take days off. And that creates such a ethic inside of the company that really pushes everyone to work hard. You know, I looked at a tweet today. It talked about ethics. If you don't have anything, discipline, hard work, showing up, it doesn't matter if you don't have ethics. You can show up every day with bad ethics. You know, but building something with honor and pushing people to grind every single day with this channel. Shout out to my whole staff and everybody. I'm so blessed. I mean, 1 minute looks like it's making a bear flag. We talked about that other bigger head and shoulder. It did play out. Kind of crazy, right? And again, the 21-200. And now you got to zoom out to the bigger time frames and start seeing what's happening. And this just makes sense. I mean, look, kind of want to still short that. There's still time to short that. You're kind of, you're jumping in a little late now, but see, we went over this idea here, right? And then you got the measured move. You take the long length. Always take the long length. Hurt yourself the hardest. And then there's the support zone, right? Which makes sense. So if you're thinking of shorting, that's probably a good place to take some profit. You might double bottom there. You got to look at both your areas there. Look how simple that is. You don't have to have 1,000 lines on the chart. It doesn't have to be this insane. And you just identify patterns. A lower high. Assume you're going to make a lower low. You short the lower high. That's what a head and shoulder is. So you could never know what lower lows and lower highs is. You could know nothing about trend. And you could just always short the right shoulder, and you'll be like, oh, and people that don't know you did that, if they didn't see the head and shoulder, they'd be like, oh, you know how to short trend. You're really good at the trend. You're like, what are you talking about? I just know head and shoulder patterns. Now, there's other people that only don't know the head and shoulder, and they always short the lower high on the trend. Look at that dump, man. We can tell where it's going now. Look at that thing. Congrats to anyone that jumped in on the short. And is anyone up on the short today? Maybe you didn't long like I did last night, and you were hungry. See, if I didn't long last night and make, the $5,000, I probably would be hungry and I'd be shorting. Nobody will beat Sammy Cup and Hattie. Don't bet against him. Jimmy's boy, blue collar hands with white collar brain. Let's go, my man. Shout out to Crypto Billy, man. I love you, man. Thank you for the message yesterday. I love you. I can't wait to see you again. Isn't that crazy? May's coming up so fast. Just 4 short months, we'll be hanging out again. 4 short months. Unbelievable. So remember, today, last night on my update this morning, I told you today was likely going to be a pullback or sideways price action. You knew exactly what price was going to do. You not exactly, but you knew with high probability. And the thing is, once you trust me more, it gets easier to be in the Discord. Say you're first in the Discord, and I say it's likely going to be a red day. You're not sure. You just met me. You're like, is he really accurate? I don't know. And then over time, you're like, oh, he wasn't right today, but he was right Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He was wrong on Monday. Then the next week, I'm right every day. And then the next week, I'm right like one of... maybe I'm wrong 2 days and then right 3. But then after the end of the month, you're like, damn, man. 22 out of those 30 days, Sam, not only did he tell me what was going to happen, but he did it play by play. Like, he showed me every single level. He showed me what was going to happen. He had me. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to love it. You're going to get updates every night and every morning in my Discord. You're going to get more information than you ever had before, which is going to make you a better trader. I'm going to push more into your subconscious mind than anyone's ever done. And I'm going to help you believe in yourself in a way you've never done. I'm going to cheerlead you through all the toughness in your life. You're going to come to that Discord. You're going to hear me speaking to you in the morning and at night. And it's going to motivate you. And you're going to say, man, I want to have this life Sammy has. I see Sam Lee travel in the world. I see Sam Lee eats at buffets at country clubs. I see Sam loves his life. His kids never want for anything. His wife seems to be happy. I'd love that life. Of course I did. I used to watch people with that life. Now I have it because I desired a beautiful life. I saw people living in Florida, no winter, always nice out. I said, why the heck am I in these gloomy, dark days? But I love my mom and dad, and I didn't want to leave them. I didn't want to leave my mother, man. You know, you can say whatever you want. I love my mom. Like, I never wanted to leave her, so it was hard. It was hard. So, you know, watch Bitcoin. It could make another bear flag here and continue lower. Wow, 92,198. And that 94,000 rejected has been such a simple short every single time. Unbelievable. 81 degrees today here in sunny Florida. 78 tomorrow, 81 Thursday, 82 on Friday, and 81 with a low in the 60s at night. So you can take beautiful walks at night. You can talk with your friends over a light, like, you know, barbecue fire if you want. You can take a jacuzzi with the cool air. And then you can still go to the beach and get a tan. This is the greatest weather. No humidity. It's a nice wind and breeze. I'm telling you right now, the area of Tampa and Sarasota, Clearwater, Florida, has some of the best weather on the Gulf you'll ever experience of any place in the world. I studied this for years. I said, where would I be the happiest? I said, where the weather is like perfect for a human being. 4 months, 5 months out of the year. I said, I would desire that. So I worked really hard and I moved myself to Florida so I could live in the weather that I love, man. So I could be at the beach. Today, if I want to go to the beach, I can. If I want to go fishing, I can. If I want to be outside, I could be outside all day long. It's a beautiful sunny day today. Again, tomorrow is going to be a beautiful sunny day. It has rained twice since I came home from Lisbon. And that was in like November 13th. Anyone new? We use the education we receive from Sam and Master Friend to make the gains. Up or down, baby. Up or down. Up or down. And today I wish I had shorted that just to show you how beautiful it was. But you had a right shoulder on the 1 hour. See how interesting this is? So the 1 hour signaled a right shoulder. It told you it was going to happen. And then Bitcoin gave you the entry on the 1 minute with another right shoulder. It was like, hello, it's like it dialed in for you. Like Bitcoin is not that difficult to trade. Emotions are difficult to manage. Let me say that again. Bitcoin is not that difficult to trade. Emotions are difficult to manage. I'm going to say it a third time. Bitcoin is not that difficult to trade. Emotions are difficult to manage. Amen. 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 All right. Emotions are difficult to manage. For me, for you, for everybody in this game. This is not easy. You know. Bro, I didn't know you had a Spotify. So goated. Thank you. Amen. Diversify your portfolio to avoid getting wrecked. Ready? Ready? There it is, you know. Raise the roof. Diversify, man. Diversify. Right? Silver bars, silver ounces. Silver for you, silver for me, a silver for free. But look at these, man. These are beautiful, shiny buffaloes, man. Look at these buffaloes. You know what I mean? I don't even like touching them because they're just like, they're pristine right now. But man, silver ounces. Each of these is almost $80 now. This is crazy. And actually, you can get over, you have to actually take a hit when you sell spot for like 75, 71. That's crazy right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put 7 in my hand. I got $500. 7 of these is $500, man. This can right here is like $1,000 can. It's $1,000 can of silver right here. Like, maybe even more. I think there's, how many ounces are in here? I got to count now. Anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, like 20 ounces in here, man. That's crazy. It's $1,400. This is a $1,400 can. It bugs me out right now. This is another one. This is another one. This is another one. This is another one. This is another. Anyway. I'm telling you, man, I started saving my money in a different way a long time ago. Bitcoin was just another formation to get paid. Dang, man. Now you got to find some bullish div to stop the pain. Little bullish div there, but not amazing. And look at this puppy. I mean, that short played out. I didn't even think that would... I was waiting for the flag to at least give us a flag first. And again, now we look for, this is kind of what we do. We watch the 1 minute to find the daily bottom. I could teach you so many different things. Yes, I did wish I'd given you a perfect short entry, but I kind of did. I saw how it didn't look good on the 1 hour. And then we got the right shoulder there on the smaller time frame. You really should be doing this close to Civil War tensions. Funny, they're so beautiful. You can't even look at them. They go to 11. That doesn't last. You really shouldn't be doing that. This close to Civil War. That's so weird, man. What a weirdo. Yeah. Civil War tensions? Where do you live, man? You really think there's civil... What reality do you live in, man? That's the thing. There's a group of people that are in civil war tensions. There's a group of people that have... That doesn't exist in their mind. Like, that's just... There's a group of people in America that are deranged right now. Like, seriously, mentally deranged. And then there's a group of people that are just kind of like living their life. Like, believing in God, waking up every day, working out, just keeping themselves mentally stable and disciplined, right? It's just like... Right? So, a dump ski... on the down ski, right? Look at that. I mean, and you can see the two levels that we're waiting for Bitcoin. So this makes sense. And everything kind of is completing exactly what I saw earlier today in my update. I saw a red day, and that's what you joined the Discord for. Today, you got an update in the Discord. It kind of gave you what was likely going to happen. You had an opportunity to take advantage, to see the market, and then not to get beat, right? So what I plan on doing is you pay $3 a day and you get the information that keeps you from getting wrecked constantly, because I'm constantly giving you updates on the market and I'm letting you see what's going to happen before it happens. Bro, my friend and her 4 kids are cooking off a gas stove and taking cold showers, facing eviction. Starting a GoFundMe. People out here are struggling. What the heck? Put the silver? Why? So because I worked a night shift, busted my butt, and made $175 a night, lived in a 1-bedroom apartment for 10 years, okay? My wife didn't have a job. I supported her and my first kid. I worked my butt off on a night shift until I got into the union, okay? So I worked my butt off, man. So when everyone tells me, put your silver away, someone's poor, I was there, man. I did this. Like, I started with $175 a night as a loader. I was on unemployment at one point in my life. So, like, again, I'm strong, I'm white, I'm a male, I get it. I'm not trying to say I don't have some type of privilege here or there. I never want to downplay my opportunity, but I've seen guys that look like me on the streets drinking, man, that are depressed at NNA and not even go, or not even NNA, but they wish they could get to NNA. So I see people struggling every day that look just like me. They chose the wrong path. You know what I mean? So when everyone tells me, like, we're struggling, I was struggling, man. Look at this guy. He said, Jen, keep buying BTC when fear and greed is low. Hang for 10 years. Exactly. Have a 10-year plan to get out of your situation. I know no one wants to hear that. Look at Crypto Billy. He says, I'm 60 and we have time. Amen. He's got time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody has a privilege as a matter of you're white or not. Interesting. Well, let's all hope we could do the same. Here to learn and stay positive, but sometimes it's hard hearing about, hey, man, I was in a 1-bedroom apartment for 10 years. My daughter did not have her own bedroom. She slept next to us until she was 4. I moved into my dad's house as he was dying because he couldn't take care of it anymore, and he begged me to move in, and I didn't want to leave New York. I had nothing. I lost my job. I left New York City. And then COVID came and took my job. My wife lost her job because we both refused to take the thing. And we weren't going to do it. We both believed that God would somehow support us. And we both lost it. We lost everything together, me and my wife. And I still have my crypto. And I moved back to Boston. I applied to be an electrician. I got denied after a year and a half of them delaying the results. And I kept doing my YouTube channel. And by the grace of God, my YouTube channel took off. I got onto ATB and bigger channels, and people started to find out who I was around the world. And I was able to breathe, man. And my life changed. And Bitcoin ripped. And my predictions from 6,000 to 20,000 was right. On my channel, we were at 6,000. I kept saying we're going to go to 20K. We went to 20K. Boom. We never looked back. Then we went to 69,000. We came all the way back down to 15,000. I doubled my trading group in that time. Even though it was hard, my mother died on Thanksgiving. My father died 7 months prior. I went through some of the hardest times of my life. And now people get pissed when I take a picture of a Lambo. Like, let's get real, folks. Let's get real. I am the American hero. I am the story of someone that came from the depths of hell. Went through some of the most horrible emotional pain you could ever have publicly and still was able to maintain. I'm not here to cry about it. I'm not here to whine, and I'm not here to ask for sorrow. I'm here to show you that that was my life. That's really what happened to me. It wasn't a storybook. It's not some written script on HBO. It really happened to me. My mom died on Thanksgiving while she was talking to me. She was ripped out of my life. I had to live stream every day anyway because that was my business. I didn't have a freaking door to hide behind. I didn't have a family to cry on. My wife was looking up to me. My kids were looking up to me. My sisters were looking up to me. I had to be strong. I had to come through. There was no for me. There was no bowing down. There was no crying alone. I went to God. I showed up every day. And yes, I have a Lamborghini. And yes, I don't have shame for it. And yes, I don't have to apologize for it. Because I worked every single day of my life. And I don't know why I have to get ridiculed for how hard I work every single day. You know what I mean? And I love all of you. I'm just making some statements here today that are true. Okay? And I don't have to apologize, and I don't have to lower my standards for other people. If I like the best, I like the best. If I want to wear suits, I wear suits. If I want to be awesome, I'm going to be awesome. I don't apologize for my behavior. I don't apologize for who I am, and I don't lower my standards for anybody. And if I want to show my life and show you how I'm shining, I'm going to do it, and I don't care who hates on me. Because I want the people to see it that believe to believe. Because when I saw Tom Brady hold up that Super Bowl trophy, I didn't hate. I said that could be me one day. When I saw a rapper buy a Lambo, I didn't hate. I said that could be me one day. When I see Steve will do it, jump over all 10 of his $5 million cars, like he calls car walking, which is insane. He's like damaging the hoods to $300,000 Bentleys, and I say, man, that could be, again, I don't know if I want to do it like that, but, I could achieve anything I put my mind to. So I just want everyone to know, like, this is about pushing yourself. This channel is about finding who you really are. That's what this channel is about. Because through this channel, I found out who I was, and God gave me an opportunity. So I believe I'm here to help you find out your best vision, your best self, who you want to become, right? We love you, Sam. No one is hating. We all have it hard and some harder. Yeah. You have worked hard. You deserve what you have sown. You do so much for us. You've learned from you every day. We love you and appreciate you, Sammy. We bless you and your family. Exactly. Someone says, get mad at yourself. My back is cramping up right now. My right back. I got crazy. My back. When I get a little stressed, my back gets super tight. Oh man, my right side is so tight it's hard to talk. Cramps. I need magnesium spray. Oh man. All right, I went away. I can barely go to my job. My child has selective mutism along with being autistic. She has a therapist in psych now that I can't afford. That's insane. That's very difficult, Jennifer. A lot of times on this channel, you go through a lot. See, I have 3 kids, and thank God, so far, not one of them has any problems. I did choose not to give them any of those, I didn't give them anything. They're free. They're pure blood. Except my first kid, they, my back is cramping up so bad. BB, My wife's going to spray this, like, stuff on my back, and I'm telling you right now, everything's going to go away. I'm going to unbutton my shirt. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Just hit that right there. Hit that right there. Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. I hope so. Yep. Anyway, so we saw the short. First level we hit is 92,250. Next level I see is about 90,990. Okay? So that's the key level that we're looking for. A lot of action right here for Bitcoin too. Looks like we could get drilled down there and be open-minded. You know? Let's do another top-down analysis here for our last 8 minutes and just assess the situation. You know? And he got it off his chest and it went to his back, man. I'm autistic and emphatic and people hate my honesty. I love you, brother. I've seen you speak the truth, man, on this channel. I love you for it. Who was complaining about people making money? No, I guess I was just making a blast statement. You know what I mean? Which maybe I didn't need to make. But, like, what's the name of the spray? Asking for a friend. Magnesium. Yeah, it's a magnesium spray. You've been lifting too much silver. All that silver hurt my back. Anyway, the 1 hour was in a right shoulder. The entry was right there. Stop loss into the wick action. And it did get half of the movement. Wasn't really great for me. It would have been like a 1-to-1 technically on the move, right? My daughter every playing, she's afraid to talk for judgment because she's blunt, so she won't talk now in school. Interesting. Bitcoin bouncing on the 4 hour 21. Yeah, let's do our top-down analysis now for BTC. Let's just kind of take it in for a second and see what happens. Because look, this is, I'm always open-mindedly bullish. What if you're making an inverted head and shoulder here and you save the day? You get tight and you still go on a massive breakout. Key levels are holding at 92.3. So yeah, there's a projection you might not have thought about, right? I just want to kind of keep your mind moving. Let you see things you might not have thought about. But yeah, man, my mom died. Like, so much happened to me. And I don't make excuses for my life, man. I don't make excuses for why I'm where I'm at or why I'm not where I'm at. I just get it done. Right? Because there's no one that's going to hear me anyway. No one wants to hear my whine, man. Nobody cares. Even my good friends, they don't hang out with me to hear me whine. They hang out with me to get motivated, to feel, they're not here. No one's here to hear me cry, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's better off to believe that anyway, even if some people do care. It's like, well, I want to be there for people. I don't want them to, Yeah, see, look at this 4 hour. This is all I'm saying. Just give this some time. That could be the beautiful entry right there. It could make another right shoulder. We don't know yet. We need to give it some time. The RSI was a bit high on the 4 hour. It had to come back down and reset. Last time it was this high, it was a fake out though, so we just have to stay above the 200 now and consolidate. We could consolidate deep, up, down. It doesn't matter. It just matters that we stay above the 200. And the daily, to me, will close at tweezer bottom and possibly start. Look, we got two things cooking. We're either going to consolidate on the 4 and make the ascending triangle bull pennant-esque, or we're going to come back down and retest. This is it, folks. And we're going to play the one that gives us the best probabilities. All right. I care about you, Sammy. Thank you, man. Have a good day, Jennifer. Never give up. Jennifer, we love you. You've been here for a long time. May God bless you. You know what? To cheer you up today, I'd like to send you, if I could, hook you up. If you could email us at Gmail and send me your tether. I'd like to, hook you up, Jennifer, and send you something to cheer you up today. So let me know. Motivating Sam, keep me coming back for more. Jennifer Moffitt, if you email cryptolifers@gmail and just send us a tether address. I'll work for Lemon Water, Sammy. Thank you. We send Jennifer love and positive energy. Amen. It's okay to vent once in a while, though. But indeed, no one wants to be friends with someone who whines. Everyone has their own problems to deal with, 100%. Man, that's a magic spray. I'm buying some to help in my trading. Yeah, spray it on your hands and you'll just start making gains. You'll just press the right buttons magically. It'll be amazing. In position, not believing any pump right now. Yeah. Yeah. Stay strong, Jennifer. Lifers don't quit. We never do. And God has a solution for every one of your issues every single time. If you believe that, he will send them. He will send the solutions to you. Keep the faith. Talk to God. Develop the relationship. You owe it to yourself. You got it on point, bro. Jennifer is the truth. God bless you, Jamal. Bro, we all got real lives. Your honesty and passion is appreciated. Thank you. Let's look at Deep, XCN, and Zcash real quick. So Deep's been hot. It's been getting liquidity. Sui's been hot, right? Deep follows Sui. It pumped. 1, 2, 3. It did the 5-day run-up. So everything ran up. Is it a false move? Getting people excited? That's why I told people, like, this is just bottom runs. I do like the Adam and Eves. I do like what we're seeing. But again, let's get back to those 4 hours. Back to those dailies. And again, if we're bullish, these are going to flag out. If we're bearish, they're going to make like head and shoulder patterns like this. And they're going to end up back down here. The charts are going to tell us what's likely going to happen. We just got to pay attention. Right now, I'm waiting for bigger information to give me better confirmation. Jennifer's a trooper. She's always putting in the work. She deserves to be acknowledged. Thank you so much, Jamal. That's amazing, man. God bless you, bro. Brother, we all got real life. Hey, man, yeah. Jennifer, keep your head up, fam. We are here for you. Yep. I learned a lot from you, Crypto Lifer. Thank you. Shout out to Echo Leaf. Yep. The beauty is God is always with us through it all, every single time. Every time, no matter what. No matter what. Do you see on the daily chart a cup of handles, sir? Yeah, it could make one. Yeah. I send you a hug, Jennifer Sultan. Yeah, man, you know, kids that go through, that have disabilities, that are struggling, that is the hardest thing for a parent. Especially kids that can't fully communicate, but you can see the love in their eyes, and you know something like there's still, and we never know what it's like for an autistic person. We don't know if their brain's actually working inside and they just can't let us know it is. Like they could be like, there could be a deep part of their brain so well functioning and that yet they can't talk to us. It looks like, I've seen those videos, they're really sad. Like the kid is fine. He's putting a color on a color. He's talking to his mom. He goes in for his first couple things. He comes out a couple weeks later or a day later and he's staring at the wall. He starts screaming. They do this and they just lose the connection. They never get the eye contact leaves. And the mother will talk about how eye contact. He was looking at me. He was talking. I could see him developing, and next thing you know, he's gone. He drifts away. I watch these documentaries, man. They kill me, man. I sat there crying late at night watching those things. I was like, God, no way. Like, so our kids trust us, man, with everything. And so, like, I just, you know, you got to be careful with what their little bodies can handle. And you got to really, really think about what you do before you let any substance into your child. I think you got to really think about it long and hard. And it's a decision for everybody. Down to the food they eat. Like, you know what I mean? The stuff in this food is like, look at it, it's got 1,000 ingredients. They say, you start giving your kid like processed cereals, like Cheerios and stuff like that, you can destroy their gut. And then their gut is where their immune system is. And then they can have all deficiencies and problems because you gave them processed food. At 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, you grow up on a lot of food like that, it can damage you later in your life. Like, the foods we're giving our kids are damaging them. You know, Jennifer is OG. The flyover protection of life for me has the flyover protection of man. We know the real ones. Amen. Yeah. Jabs are only. Yeah. Lifers will always prevail. Your mindset is everything. Yeah. Yeah, you just got to take care of your kids, man. You're the last wall of defense for your children. Please, please realize how serious that is. You could affect the rest of their lives by just listening to somebody and not questioning them and just blindly following what they tell you. Have a sense of self. Make a connection to God. Realize that you have innate senses and intuitions that are strong. Listen to them. Build them. Work on them. Your intuition is very important. I like Deep right now. A little overbought on the daily. Very overbought on the daily, actually. Looks like a short on the daily. So I don't know about long in it right now. To be honest, right now, Bitcoin could have a nice pullback. We could have a 4 to 5 day pullback here. And everything's going to pull back. Kind of looks like what could happen, but we're either going to get a sideways price action on the 4 hour or we're getting pulled back on the daily. Anything is possible, all right? Shout out to Chris Ghost. We love you, man. I like what you just said. Keep it free. Pure Bloods for life. So yeah, deep doesn't look amazing. Looks like it could be forming a cup and handle though. It's okay. Look, we were down in the dumps. We had 5 days of pump. There's going to be a pullback. You don't chase the pump. You wait for the pullback. Mario knows. Shout out to Mario. He always says that. Wait for the pullback. XCN real quick, and then I got to jump on out of here. XCN ripping to the daily 200, making that gap. Interesting. Hasn't been this high since back in September. I like it. XCN is something. It's something brewing with that coin on the back end. I don't know what's going on with it, and if you're interested in it, just like the rest of these coins, just flag out the 4 hour, do the Twisted Sister, and trade it when the 21 comes into play. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Wait for the stochastic to reset. You're very overbought on the RSI there. Extremely overbought. And Zcash, finally. Zcash here on NextC. Zcash is still very tight. Privacy coin. If Bitcoin can maintain levels and not go on a massive dump, and just even if Bitcoin, and actually when Bitcoin's dumped, this is done well. Zcash still looks good with a stop loss below 417. Nothing has changed about this structure. The way the 21's curve, 200's curving is nice. I like what I'm seeing for Zcash. Everyone, I love you. I appreciate you. I got to jump on out and hit an appointment. I can't wait to keep you going in the Discord throughout the day. I love you. Sorry if I was a little crazy, but I let it out, man. It's who I am. I can't stop. I love each and every one of you. I greatly appreciate your presence, and I can't wait for you to win. Remember, the secret to success is getting started. What are you going to do today that's going to change your life? I love you. I started this channel one day, and look where I'm at now. 5 years later, man, it changed my life. Let me inspire you to change someone else's life and inspire them. Let's the circle be unbroken. Never. God bless you. Thank you.